Is the death of Socrates just Christian fan fiction written by medieval monks? Now, I got into this question last night when I was thinking, well, isn't it strange that Socrates predates Jesus by about 400 or 500 years, and yet he went through the same kind of life and death where he shares these teachings, questions, the known order of things, questions authority, and is wrongfully condemned by false witnesses. And despite his innocence, he commits to die as a martyr. And, Socrates drinks the hemlock instead of just mere exile. And we all know the story of Jesus, where he was basically sinless, he was perfect, yet he was falsely accused and crucified for our sins. And so I get into the idea of like Joseph Campbell and the monomyth and archetypes, and some people might say that, these ancient cultures just influenced Christianity, and Christianity is a synthesis of all these ancient cultures and myths that predate it. So I said, well, how do we know that all of history isn't fake? How do we know what we know about history? Where does it come from? And I've gone down that rabbit hole with the Bible of tracing the Bible as we know it from Jesus's mouth to the various people who wrote it down and preserved it throughout the years. I've gone down that rabbit hole of the fragments and the compilations at various points in history by anonymous scribes, but said, well, let's apply that same rigor to other parts of history. And I've only done it with Socrates so far, but what it revealed was that there are no surviving fragments or manuscripts that show that martyrdom of Socrates, if you will, his dying for his own beliefs, following the same structure of Jesus. But what we will find is that the only fragments that we know that story are based upon, the earliest ones are from 200 to 300 years after Jesus. And the main story, if I'm remembering my article correctly, came from, 800 to 1200 years after Jesus, compiled by Christian monks. So perhaps it's not that Christianity was influenced by the Greeks, but our understanding of Greeks, their philosophy, and, some of their greatest thinkers may have actually been influenced by Christian monks who preserved that. And in doing so, there may have been some historical revisionism. So if you're interested in the article, leave a comment, or if I can figure out how to link to the description of this video, I will. This is all based on AI-assisted research, which is prone to potential hallucinations, but so is all of history.